Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates, and I had this fun idea that I would capture some of the memories from all the wonderful entries that have been coming in for my challenge by making my first snippet roll. I've been really having fun watching snippet roll videos over the last couple of months, and I remember watching many on June Angel Pugh's channel when she's had her recent challenge. So I was already really inspired to make one, but as I kept opening these wonderful packages from all of you, I wanted to save a little snip from everybody while the memories were still fresh. So I have created a snippet roll from the first 15 entries. I wrapped it in this chiffon scarf that I got from a little vintage sale not long ago. It's got pearls all over it. And so this is my first attempt at a snippet roll. I'm really excited about it. And what I did was I just used a tube from, I think it was a piece of parchment paper tube, but I cut it down and covered it with paper and a little bit of lace, and then to secure it I just tied it with this fabric ribbon, and then you just undo the ribbon like so, and then I can show you each entry as they came in. And the very first entry was from Tamara Barrett, and she had sent me beautiful lace trim on a vintage it was like a dress bodice card, and this was one of the laces, so I gathered it up and made a flower with it. And one of the styles she likes is steampunk, so I put a little key, wanted to add some metal, so I added that. So some of this is from what they sent, and then I just add a little bit of my own stash. And so the seam binding was at the top of her tag, and I just loved how crinkled and shabby it was. So I added that as the little snippet to remind me of Tamara's entry. And then this is just from my own stash, a little, something to put in that little space. But also it's leading up to my friend Linda's entry, and Linda loves pink and purple, but I also know butterflies really have a special meaning to her. So I just made a little pink pearl dangle for Linda. And she had given me this big jar of pearls anyway, but stashed in there were these little pretty pink ones. And then she gave me this gorgeous doily, so I just put a little snippet of the doily in there. I'm going to close this blind so that hopefully you can see a little better. There we go. And so this was a snippet of Linda's entry, which had so many really pretty things in it. But I was happy to get a little bit from hers on here. And then I had an entry from Thelma Merino, and she sent me lace trim and bling, and so I turned her snippet into just a little bow and added a little pearl button at the top. And several of the doilies excuse me, that had come in had tatting, and I have this fun little package, I don't know if I have it out anymore, of scraps of tatting, so I just stashed them on my snippet roll here and there. And the next snippet that I got was from Debbie Vignola, and Debbie had created this gorgeous card, which I still have, but I was able to excuse me, take off one of the teeny little birds that was on there, and mounted it onto her snippet. And then one of the flowers I was able to carefully take off, and then she had put this pretty little flower doily on a little gift tag. So I made a little snippet from Debbie Vignola's entry. Oh, and I want to backtrack here because this is a cross and a piece of bling, and that's just to remember my friend Wendy, who sent me a gorgeous necklace full of bling to break apart and use however I want. And so I wanted to stick the cross for Wendy because she collects them and crosses are very special to her. And then there's a little piece of bling that I wanted to remember from her in sending that necklace to me. And then I got an entry from Lynn Bentley, and Lynn had sent me stick pins, and she had put all of her things in a really pretty pink organza bag. And so I don't know if that comes off or not, but anyway, she sent me beautiful doilies, and this is one of the doilies. So I just layered the doilies with flowered to make a little flower, and then I just put a little amber colored rhinestone in the middle, and then this is just a little bit of pearl embellishment. And so that's my little snippet to remember Lynn's entry. And then my next one was from Angie Paisley, which was so much fun. She had put such a variety of different colors and things, and there were wooden buttons in there and this really pretty trim, and there were little flowers, embellishments, and so I wanted to create something a little eclectic with a little smattering of everything she put in. And there was this really pretty chiffon pink flower with a really pretty pink crocheted lace backing it. So I stuck that on there, and then one of the flowers I put a little rhinestone bling in there. Can you see that? Hope I'm holding this okay. So I will keep unrolling here. So yeah, this was just some what do I call that ribbon? I was saying it the whole jacquard. This is some vintage jacquard ribbon, and I just added that to tie in all of the colors of the things that were sent in by Angie. And then there's just a little enamel rose that I stuck on there as well. And then that's a pink flower that was in the entry from Linda. And then the next entry was from Shirley Lee, and Shirley just lavished me with all kinds of wonderful things, but among them were these beautiful little flowers that she made, and I called them fairy flowers just because they were so delicate and fun. And then she had also packed her things in a pretty chiffon bag, so this is to represent the pink chiffon bags that I had so much fun opening. I cut it and made it into a layer of the flower, and then she sent me gorgeous doilies. I mean, they were jaw-dropping doilies. This is one of them that has like a trim that reminded me of a sunflower, and then her colors were lavender, so I stuck a little bit of a lavender embellishment in the back there. And then these are just these are the ribbons that tied the bag shut. And so that was my little snippet from Shirley's entry. And then the next snippet is from Evie Faladu, who sent me such beautiful handmade doilies. They were silver and gold, just like her mom crocheted them especially for me, which was just so touching to me. And I didn't have the heart to put any of that on here. I'm not ready to cut those yet, so I used the theme with some of the wood embellishments that she sent me. So these are little glittery wood embellishments that I stuck on to represent the gold and silver doilies. And she also loves fairies and butterflies, so I had this little silver butterfly that I was able to add to her snippet. And then this little pearl dangle was also a part of my stash, and I wanted to add that. So this little snippet represents my friend Evie. And the next one that came was from Belinda Coombs, and Belinda loves vintage, and she sent me gorgeous doilies and stick pins. And so I did stick one of her stick pins in here, but that's because I can take it out and use it whenever I want. And then I just layered vintage colored vintage doilies in vintage colors, cream, tan, and ivory. And then I used some natural fibers and stamen, and then a little enamel flower for the center to remind me of Belinda's entry. which was just a really sweet entry. This one I kind of wanted to make look somewhat like a butterfly. So it's from Mary. Anyway, her entry was number 10, and I can't remember her last name, but she sent me gorgeous lace, cream and white, and then a bag of bling. And so I shaped her lace into semblance of a butterfly, in my mind anyway. And then I just put the little bling for the body of the butterfly, and then this was one of the little pieces that she sent as the head of the butterfly. So those were the wings, and this is the little snippet that reminds me of Mary's entry. And then I got another entry from Siobhan Moore, which was another one that was just so much fun, with so eclectic, with all different colors and styles. And part of it was these really sweet little pom-pom trims. There was a pastel pink and then a bold pink one. So I gathered it and made a flower with it. And then I mounted it on one of the doilies that she sent me. She sent me gorgeous doilies. And one of the things that was really fun to me was this little paper tag. So I sewed this on. And then at the bottom of the tag, I added angel wings. Let's see if I can get it so that you can see it. Yeah, so I added some angel wings and mounted it on, and she gave me this pretty strip of pink gingham ribbon. And so I just added a couple more of my own embellishments. This was a button with a rose and then a little enamel flower, and I put a little tiny pearl in the middle. So this little snippet reminds me of what was sent by Siobhan, which was so gorgeous. And then I got another entry from Genie Dreamer, and she had folded all these gorgeous doilies up and clipped them with this sweet little silver glittery clothespin. And then one of the tags that she had, it was like a gift tag, had this bow and the burlap fibers. So I mounted it on one of the diamond-shaped doilies that she sent and made a little embellishment. And then I just thought, this is such a sweet lady. A heart seemed like the perfect little center for the embellishment that I created to remind me of her entry. So this snippet is to remind me of Genie Dreamer's entry. And then this was from another subscriber, Safiya, another really sweet girl. And I'm sorry to call you a girl. You very much could just be my age. I just don't know. Anyway, I always feel like I'm older. But this was a beautiful chiffon flower that Safiya put in her entry. And she gave me all these gorgeous, gorgeous lace trims and all this bling. And this little teardrop bling was at the bottom, was in one of hers. But I wanted to attach that to the bottom of my snippet from her. And then I added just the chiffon flower and a layer of the trim that's actually two-tone. I don't know if you can see that, but it was gorgeous trim, and I wanted to make sure I added that. And then after Safiya was Dawn Twist, and Dawn, she gave me this great combination of the shabby and the chic, because it was the burlap and the lace, and then the beautiful tea-dyed crocheted lace flowers. And so I layered them and put a really pretty piece of bling. But what I loved about her entry was she told me that she loved hot pink. So I just thought I have to add some hot pink in on her snip. So on her snippet, I found this little ribbon rose and added a hot pink ribbon rose to remind me of her entry. And then the very last entry on this snippet roll is from Pampered Petals, which is Laquetta. And I just did a video on hers, I think, yesterday, but she sent me so many gorgeous things and a beautiful handcrafted fairy card. But really, what was really exciting, it was all exciting, but she sent me beads so that I could start finally creating my own stick pins. So Laquetta, I'll let you know, this pin I made with the generous amount of beads that you put in your entry. So, and then there's a little cluster of beads that I wanted to stick there, and some more jacquard lace trim. And then this flower was closing up one of the little packages that she sent filled with lace trim, and I wanted to save that to remember her entry. So that one was from Pampered Petals, and if I can, I'll just carefully roll it all back up, and you can get a little glimpse of each entry as I roll it up. But boy, was this fun. I'm gonna do more snippet rolls because they're just so fun to get little bits and pieces, and like I say in many of my entry videos, that I take time to just look at all the details later. And when I was doing that, that's what inspired me to go ahead and do a snippet roll, because I thought some of these details are just so gorgeous and I want to save them. But I still have all the other generous amounts of lace and trim and doilies and stick pins that I'll be crafting with. So that is my first snippet roll, and I'm just going to tie it back up here and cherish it for a long, long time. And I will look forward to making another one soon. Oh, and guess what? I just got a notification that I have a package waiting for me. Yay! I gotta go to the mailbox, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!